Good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
We are here today to talk to you again, to hang out with you, to find out what questions you may have, and to talk about your cases. I know that a lot of you have... Okay, hold on one second. We're having some technical issues here. Okay, I think we're okay now. I think we're okay. All right. We don't get it all right the first time or the second time or the third time, but I think we'll get it right eventually. So, all right. I think you can see us. So we want to talk to you today about something that's really, really important. And a lot of people have asked us these questions. Can I become a permanent resident without a sponsor?
Without a sponsor.
Without a sponsor. So...
All on your own.
All on your own. So before we start, I want to ask you guys, give you a chance to join us, and I want to ask you all, where are you joining from? You know, where are you from? Just let us know. Just put it in the comment. Let us know if you know where you're joining from. We love to hear where people are from. You know, sometimes we have people joining from India, from Ecuador, from Colombia, from Indonesia, from China. So it's fun to just see where people are joining from, and we're happy, so happy that you're here with us.
Yeah.
Because we want to talk to you a little bit today about how you can become a permanent resident without a sponsor, okay? And this is so important because a lot of you here qualify and you don't know, all right? So what does this mean, okay? How can you get your green card without an employer sponsoring you? So what does that mean? No job offer, no company filing on your behalf. Most people think that the only way to get a green card through work is if the company sponsors you. And that's not true. So today, Ed and I are going to break down two categories that let you sponsor yourself. It's the EB1 and the EB2. Mm-hmm. Stick around, because by the end, you'll know exactly which one might fit you.
Well, hi, I'm Ed.
And I'm Carlene.
This is Carlene. And, you know, we do this because so many people come to us and they're thinking that they only have a few options. And it's either a family petition, or maybe they're just a lucky employee working for a lucky employer. But there are a lot of options out there. And not many people know about these options. So there are actually several ways to self-petition. Do it on your own. Not actually do it yourself, but through your own abilities.
That's
without
right.
an employer. It's very important. And today we're focused on the two most common ones. The first one is called an EB1A, and the second one is the EB2, with a national interest waiver, or NIW. So let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start simple, okay? We're going to do very simple. The EB1 and EB2 are still employment-based green cards, okay? And they fit into different levels. EB1 is first preference and EB2 is second. And I know you guys understand what this is, because a lot of people will call me up and say, you know what, I'm in the first category, the second category, the third category. So I know you understand what this means. And if you don't, we can explain it to you, okay?
Yeah, don't worry.
So normally employment green cards need three things. They need a job offer, a labor certification called a PERM, where the employer proves that no American worker is available for the job. And then you have the actual petition. And that process can take years. But there are, and it depends on your employer staying committed to you and starting at the beginning and going to the end. But there are exceptions in the law. So if you fall into the extraordinary ability category under EB1, or you qualify for a national interest waiver under EB2, you skip the job offer and the labor certification completely. So all you have to do is file for yourself, okay?
You shouldn't do it yourself, but you could file for yourself.
You can file for yourself.
It is technical.
Sure. You are the petitioner and the beneficiary. And that's the whole idea behind today's video. These two paths exist, so people with real achievements or real value to the country don't have to wait around for a company to take a chance on them. They can do it themselves, okay?
Right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the EB1A first, because it sounds intimidating. Extraordinary ability, extraordinary ability, but it's more reachable than people assume. And I've done a lot of these over the years, and I've looked at some of the paperwork and proof and documentation, and say not everybody is a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Not everybody has been in the Olympics or won all kinds of awards. But anyway, I'll tell you. So you don't need a Nobel Prize. USCIS, the government, American government, that oversees this, they look for evidence across 10 categories. And things like awards that you've won, published material about your work, judging the work of others in your field. Were you the judge of others? This shows extraordinary ability. Original contribution of major significance, high salary compared to others in your field, or leading roles at organizations with distinguished reputation. Obviously, these really help a great deal. You generally need to meet at least 3 of these, not even all 10, just 3.
That's right.
To show a one-time major achievement, like an Olympic medal. You don't always need an Olympic medal, or a major internationally recognized award. So this applies to all kinds of fields, whether it's in the field of business or science or education or athletics, the arts. It doesn't matter. What matters is documentation. It always comes down to documentation, right? And I'll tell you, we have enough paper to fill up, I think, 5 stories.
Yeah,
all the things
that's true.
So it's not really about being famous. It's really about proving it on paper, and that's when you're at the top of your field, and at the top of the list of being approved, and that your work benefits the United States, and that's important. If you meet the criteria, if you file the I-140 petition yourself, no employer is needed, and depending on your country of birth, you may not even need to wait very long for a visa number. I don't recommend doing it yourself, though.
That's
I
right.
don't recommend that. We've done a lot of cases that we had to redo for people to try to do it on their own. They made a big mistake. They had to pay the fees all over again, and it's a headache. Don't do that. Again, I always say this: I don't do my own taxes. I give it to someone who's an expert in that field. Give it to an immigration attorney with a lot of experience.
That's right.
I interrupted you.
No, and now the NIW, the National Interest Waiver, it works a little differently. Normally, EB2 is for people with an advanced degree or a bachelor's degree plus 5 years of progressive experience or exceptional ability in their field. Mm-hmm. And normally that still requires a job offer and perm labor certification. But with a national interest waiver, it lets you waive both of those requirements if you can show your work is in the national interest of the United States. The standard courts use a case called DHANASR, Danaher test, and it has 3 parts. Your work, your proposed work, has to have substantial merit, national importance, and you're well positioned to advance it. And on balance, it would benefit the U.S. more to waive the job offer requirement than to require one. So that's really, really important. So let me say that again. So you have proposed work is of substantial value or merit, of national importance. You're in a position to advance it, and it would benefit the U.S., the United States. It would benefit the country. And so this is popular with entrepreneurs, researchers, healthcare workers, engineers, and people building something like a business, some kind of technology, a public health initiative. Some of you guys have talked to me about startups, so that's important too. Mm-hmm. So you're not just sitting around waiting on a company or HR department or somebody with an immigration budget. You actually are moving along with your own work.
Right. That's right. But here's where people get tripped up. Self-petitioning doesn't mean a low bar. It actually means that the evidence has to work harder because there's no employer vouching for you, right? You're self-petitioning. The most common mistakes we see, people submit a resume instead of proof. They don't get strong recommendations, letters of people that can say, oh, he's an amazing person, she's an amazing person. And so there's no real narrative to tie it together. So for the NIW, the biggest mistake is a business plan or proposal that reads like it benefits you personally more than it benefits the country. Come on, that's not the right perspective. Immigration officers, and they're tough and they're smart, and they expect a lot from us. Immigration officers want to see the national significance clearly, not assume. They don't want to assume things. Don't think like, oh, they'll figure it out, or oh, once they see this, they'll see the value of it. No, you tell them the value of it, and you do it through documentation. So our advice is to start collecting your evidence, and don't wait. Start right now. Any awards, media coverage, letters, salary data, membership in selective organizations, all of this matters. We want to overwhelm the officer. We want the officer to see a pile that's like it's falling on top of them. Okay, that's what they want. and then you have a good chance. We've sent out boxes of proof for many of our clients over the years, because that is what overwhelms them, and that's what gets you through the door and gets you what you need to get.
That's
which
right.
is a win. I want you
That's
to win.
right.
It's all about winning and living, oh my goodness, with your residents.
That's right. So if you have real achievements in your field, look at the EB1A. If your work has national importance, even without awards, look at the EB2 and IW, okay? Neither one needs a company to sponsor you. That's the whole point of today's video. If you want us to go deeper or on either category, the specific evidence checklist, the timelines, or filing examples, drop it in the comments and we'll cover it in a future stream. Because I know that a lot of you here are very qualified. A lot of you, I've spoken to a lot of people, you've called me, and you've asked questions about your specific cases. A lot of you are engineers, a lot of you are dealing with AI, a lot of you are data people, a lot of you have startup companies. So this is something you might want to consider, either the EB1 or the NIW. And if this is something that concerns you, because a lot of people have said to me, well, what happens after the OPT? What can I do after the OPT? And that's why we thought we might go through this a little bit, because there is life after the OPT. Some of you might get sponsored by your company. Some of you might do the H-1B first. Some of you might then do the labor certification. But sometimes you don't need that. You don't need a labor certification, like we're saying. Sometimes you can just think about all that you've achieved, put your resume together, start putting your documentation together, and see if maybe this is something you can do. So I want to take some questions. I know that a lot of people here have joined us, and they have their questions. And one of the questions that keeps coming up, and I want to address it, and it's the question about what happens if I applied for my if I applied for my OPT. I have done my studies, I'm applying for my OPT, and it's still pending. Please don't get discouraged, don't despair. Remember what we've been talking about over and over again. Remember, reach out to USCIS, email them, call them, get your local Congress people to talk to them, get your company to write a letter to them and email them. You know, all these issues, you have to keep on doing it and doing it and doing it, because USCIS will eventually answer the questions. The other question that came up is, and we get the questions all day long in the office. What happens if I got a biometric appointment and I missed a biometric appointment? You need to call USCIS to reschedule the appointment. Now, we talked about this yesterday. What happens? Sometimes you can go to the office, the office where you missed the appointment, whether it's Miami, New Jersey, New York, Cincinnati, wherever you're from, and talk to the officer there and see if they'll allow you to do the fingerprint there. Just tell them, look, here's the appointment, I missed it. Can you allow me to do this? Sometimes they'll say yes. If they say no, just call and ask USCIS to schedule the appointment again. They will do it. I'm telling you, they'll do it. Okay? And then the other question I get is, what happens if USCIS mailed my card and I just didn't get the card? The card got lost in the mail. If that's the case, you need to call USCIS and you need to fill out a form, and in that form you can put there, it gives you an option to put card was lost or stolen. More than likely it was lost in the mail. You don't have to pay the fee. USCIS requires a fee for the I-90, but you don't have to pay the fee. And then you should go ahead and fill out that form, send it in as quickly as possible so that USCIS can replace the card. So these are things that are happening with you guys. It happens to everybody, not just you. Don't feel that you're being singled out. Somebody asked me the other day, should I be afraid to travel? I would not recommend traveling right now. Even though you have your visa, even though you're in legal status, just wait a little bit until all the craziness has died down from the airports. Though you may not get detained, you may get questioned, and then that makes you nervous, that makes you, feel picked on. So if you don't need to travel, don't travel, and do not travel internationally. Okay, that goes without saying. I'm talking about domestic travel. Don't travel. Do you agree?
Yeah, I remember stories a little off topic though, but this was after 9/11, the towers and the tragic loss of so many people that died. and we're in LaGuardia Airport, or was it Kennedy Airport? It was LaGuardia Airport. And there's this one man kept looking at Carlene, kept looking at him, looking at her, and you know, I'm not a jealous person, but I said, something's wrong with this guy. And eventually what he did was he went up to her very closely and started yelling at her. He felt that somehow, because of the color of her skin, because whatever, she was somehow involved in this horrible tragedy. And we almost got into a fight because he wanted to fight. He wanted to hurt you. Do you remember that?
Right. Yes, I remember that very well.
So these are times, you know, and we decided that we were going to minimize our flying during that 9/11 time.
Yes.
And, you know, I mean, I was born in the United States. I was born in Jersey City, and I had to limit my travel because common sense always prevails. Doesn't matter if you're justified to do something. It doesn't matter that you have a right. Sometimes you have to just go with what's out there. So I said, I'm not going to put Carlene in danger, so we're not going to travel for a while. Okay?
Yeah, so,
and believe me, the last thing in the world Carlene ever would want to hurt anybody or have anything to do with that, and nor I, so, or nor any of you.
Right,
so,
you know. That's what we're saying. So if you can avoid it, just for now. Think this too shall pass. That's what, you know, we've said. I think at some point the government has to calm down, but this too shall pass. So if you can avoid traveling right now, which is a question I get all day long, just go ahead and avoid it. And then another question that I get is from people saying, you know, because we look differently, or because we speak differently, or because we speak with an accent, we're scared. You shouldn't feel scared. You're here. A lot of you are here legally. And then I want to just mention briefly for our friends who are watching us from Haiti or from Syria, Venezuela, all these countries where the TPS is over. Don't just not do anything, okay? Remember. I will. Remember that you can apply for asylum. Remember that you can apply for if you've been here for 10 years, if you get a court hearing and you've been here for 10 years, remember that you can apply for cancellation or removal. It's at the 10-year law if you have U.S. citizen children. So there are options. Remember too, if you have a petition pending, somebody called me about that they have, they applied for an I-130, I-485 adjustment of status, because of their parent had sponsored them and it was time to do an adjustment of status. If that's the case and you can apply for adjustment of status and you have a court hearing, send a motion to the court and ask the court to terminate your proceedings so you can pursue your adjustment of status application. That's an option. And for those of you who are here and you're here illegally, you entered illegally, but you have an I-130 petition, remember that it's not over. You can still apply for a waiver, and you have to go back to your country and do, they call it consular processing. That's just getting your appointment with the American Embassy. So remember that there are options. Don't give up. Don't just say, oh, you know, nothing, I can't do anything. There's always something that you can do. You just need to speak to an attorney so that you can remember that there are options, okay?
And one of the things you can do is write some questions for us, okay?
Yeah.
If you're not interrupting us, just send us questions. You know, Carlene can answer, you know, anything really.
So yeah, if you have any questions, or you know, and the other thing that I
forgot to do.
Okay, yeah, my husband likes me to say, remember that we have a Spanish channel also. For those of you who feel more comfortable in Spanish, nosotros tenemos un canal en español. Nosotros explicamos la ley también en español. So we have that. And for my Haitian friends, we don't have a channel in Creole or French, but if you call and you feel more comfortable speaking in French, you know, we can help you, okay? So, all right, so sac passe to my Haitian friends, and, you know, bonjour, bonsoir, je suis ici pour vous aider, okay? So just remember that.
I'm sorry, I'm just proud of her because she speaks the language fluently.
And so, okay, so today we talked about the EB1 and also the EB2. And remember that if you have any questions, put them in the comments and we will go into more details about this. and we love being with you. So where are you guys? Where are you guys from? So can you tell us that where you joining from?
In time zones.
Yeah, where
I mean,
you?
here it's 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so we're in Miami, Florida.
Yeah. So Andres, where are you from? I see Andres joining. Where are you from? Are you in Miami, or where are you from originally? And how about Harsha? Where are you from? Come on, don't be shy. Tell us where you're from. It's okay. Just tell us where you're from, and you know where you're hailing from, and you know, we'd just love to know. So okay, it's all right if you don't want to. That's okay. So we will close up for today, and join us tomorrow. And we're going to be talking to you tomorrow about other updates and other processes in the law, in immigration law, things that you can apply for, things that you can do. And okay, so.
But you're not alone in this process. Okay?
Yeah.
You're not alone. We'll help you. We do this because we do want to help you. And you know, if there are times, different time zones, you tell us what time that we can do different shows at different times, or we could replay things. If you have questions, you know, let us know if you want us to continue with this. We're happy to do it. You know, and you know.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll talk some more, and we'll be here tomorrow, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. See you later.